or oh girl. Oh yeah, lights. Lights, please. My damn shirt and my shoulders and the working out. I sound like a crazy old man. What's going on, beautiful people? Hold on, let me get these lights on. Ay, Dios mío, ¿qué le pasa? Nope. I don't know why they let me do it. What's the point? Why let me do it? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe show. Kasabian Lavoe. Remember, this is your first time watching. You're a part of the live studio audience, and we're recording for the podcast, but it's really turned into a news show. I think we got to stop calling it a podcast at this point. I'll get recording, and I'll get into today's topics. It's interesting. Very nerdy, but interesting, and then drama and everything else that we get to talk about, and let's have some fun today, because it's Friday, and we ain't got no job anyway. I mean, we got jobs, I guess. I'm going to start posting early. This might be my last 4 o'clock show. We're going to talk about that, too. I think it's time that we start posting earlier in the day. We shall see. One thing's for sure and 2 things for certain. In this world, in this country, you will pay your taxes. There's no way around it. If you can't hear the music you're watching, head over to Apple Podcasts, head over to Spotify, and take a listen to what we're listening to. And all the other podcasts are up there. klavo.com. Hey, them boys went in. I know I'm breathing heavy as fuck. It's Kasabian Lavoe. Wine. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe show, live from Las Vegas. And I'll be your host behind the microphone with talent on loan from God. Welcome to episode 137. Or excuse me, 237. 137. It's 237. I know. It's pretty amazing that we've made it this far. Even I get shocked because I go, damn. I usually do things for like 2 years and then quit. Just because I'm lazy as shit. Welcome back. Shout out to all the podcast listeners, the millions of y'all. We appreciate all of y'all. Welcome back to this is the most hip-hoppiest news, conservative news show that you got. I don't even want to call it that. This is an infotainment variety show. I'm here to entertain and teach. That's it. I don't care about none of that other stuff. Now, if this is your first time watching, you're a part of the studio audience. Head over to YouTube and chit-chat and comment. We have Gilly as a special guest tomorrow on the radio show, and we'll be doing interviews, and we're going to start posting on the Patreon. So consider subscribing. Consider heading over to our Patreon and checking out what the Whale Club has to offer. The whale merch. Yeah, we got some whale merch. It's a Vegas term. Learn about us, all right? What else? I just wanted to just dabble. It's Friday. You guys ever had rolled ice cream? Haha. Weird. No. Yo, I had a nose spray yesterday. Never mind. That's very insensitive, and I'm just going to let that go. So we'll be talking about a couple things that I think are interesting today. AMC is accepting crypto. What does that even mean? How many Bitcoin will it take for me to go watch a movie now? Is this really going to interrupt my movie watching experience? And not another Cuomo. That should be the name of a book because they're not perverts. They're just Italian. China made it illegal to use crypto. So if you go to AMC in China, you can't use crypto. That sucks. Now, we are investigating who runs the border. Kamala Harris said she is running an investigation against whoever's in charge of the border. It's her. She's in charge. Let's talk about it. Omi and a Hellcat. If you don't know who Omi is, I'm going to talk about Omi because, one, this story is very intricate. You guys remember the fire sticks and that little hustle and the jailbreaking? That still continues. The Cody and all the streaming. This has a lot to do with almost everything that's going on in the United States. It's crazy, right? We're going to talk about how Omi's case, streaming wars, information that they still don't want to give us, and the stimulus bill, the last stimulus bill, have all something to do with each other. All of them are interconnected. And the EU wants to force electronic companies to make one type of USB port, or at least a female port. And they want them all to be the same. So that means Apple has to comply. You know that's not going to happen. Anyway, we'll talk about that. And 21 Savage got locked up. Let's get into 21 Savage getting popped. So 21 Savage was facing issues with ICE because of something that happened at the border with illegal substances and guns. Well, there was a warrant released for his arrest yesterday. He turned himself in and he was released immediately after bonding out. Nothing seems to come of this. It was a cordon. Okay, so I guess the possession of firearm caused the warrant. But he turned himself in, and I'm assuming they got that taken care of. But that was breaking right before the show started. Also, Kelly Price is missing. She's been missing for quite some time. She had COVID about a month ago and then disappeared. I wanted to make sure that was out there. Head over to klavoe.com. Check out the merch. Head over to our Patreon. I think it's Kasabian Lavoe TV at Patreon. If not, I'll post it. Don't go over there yet. Spotify on Saturdays. We have our exclusive radio show, or not a radio show. Tomorrow we'll have a guest who we'll be collaborating with tonight and getting that all recorded up for y'all. Remember last week we got stalled out because of the server? It wasn't my fault. I promise y'all, it wasn't my fault. What else? I think that's pretty amazing that the EU thinks that they can do that. So AMC wants to accept crypto, and they made a big kerfuffle about it on Twitter, and I guess they thought they were cool because they kind of trended for a little while. Now, don't get me wrong. Using crypto, I think everybody should use anything that makes money and figure out some type of a value system towards whatever you sell. The thing is, though, the way that crypto works, it's so volatile that it'll be kind of hard to keep a steady price. So it's almost going to be a price according to every day, which is insanity. It's the reason why crypto is very far from ever becoming our main source of currency. Imagine waking up one day and your $1 is now worth $1,000. And then the next day, your $1,000 went back down to $1. That's what it is to live off of crypto. And imagine when damn, I swear to God, these headphones squeeze the shit out of my head and just like put air in my skull. Anyway, so crypto with its volatility doesn't necessarily work for everyday living. It doesn't even work for anything really. Like, as of right now, just online purchases. Let's just keep it a buck. You can buy a bunch of shit with it. Yes, you can buy cars, houses, but the volatility nonetheless, I mean, the value literally lasts as long as it lasts. Cash that shit out if you out there in the world. But AMC is doing that. They think they're cool, so let's let them be cool and let's let them be great. Go over to AMC with a Bitcoin and watch all the movies. Even though, I'm going to be honest with you, movie theaters are dead to me. I love being at home, my giant TV, watching movies here, popping popcorn and shit. And, you know, things like that. It's just weird that I love how first off, hold on. The CEO was like all geeked out because his Twitter account went crazy because he asked a stupid question about Deutsch. Congratulations, but you guys aren't really accomplishing much. You better do something better, and you better hope those screens get better because TVs are phenomenal right now, and I feel so much better at home. So, you know, when does being Italian become a legitimate case for sexual assault? Chris Cuomo seems to think, well, actually his brother seems to think that was a solid case. And now his brother's in trouble. The CNN host has been now accused of sexual harassment by his former ABC producer. And here's a story, and I'm going to read it the way it's written, and it's very well written because this person was a producer, so she wrote it almost like a script. So I'm going to read it like a script, and I'm really excited, right? But don't be offended by anything. I'm just reading what she said, okay? The story comes from The Hollywood Reporter. And once again, Chris Cuomo, the brother of the Mayor Cuomo, or Governor Cuomo, is now being accused of sexual harassment from his former ABC producer. Okay, this is me and her voice. Should I do a voice? I go, hi, my name? No, okay, I'm sorry. When Mr. Cuomo entered the Upper West Side bar, he walked towards me and greeted me with a strong bear hug. Then he lowered his hand and firmly grabbed and squeezed my cheek of my buttocks. Yeah. I can do this now. You're no longer my boss, he said. With some kind of cocky arrogance. I said, no, you can't. I pushed him off my chest, stepping back, revealing my husband, who had seen the entire episode, and we walked away. Oh, well, it says that we quickly left, but they walked away. Because if that motherfucker would have walked in and done that bullshit to my wife, all his teeth would have been on the floor, and he would have never spoke again. He would have been the artist formerly known as Chris Cuomo. And that's on God and all them. You are out of your mind. You're going to hug this dude's wife in public, grab her ass, and then say, I can do that now because you ain't my boss. Yo, you beta males, blow me away. Blow his head off, bro. Grab whatever you drinking and just right in his mouth for that shit, man. That's the type of nasty shit that needs to be checked. Dudes got to check other dudes. It's gross. And he's going to come out and joke about it and try to use his fucking striking good looks as I use my striking good looks every day to deliver you this news. And he's going to try to tell you how he's sorry and how he fucked up. But here's where it gets really good. He sent her an email apologizing. So I'd love to see how the fucking attorney's going to spin this shit and how much money he's going to have to fork over. And then let's now see if CNN is going to support this and maintain, their great Chris Cuomo. Or is it time for him to hang it up as his brother did? Do we ask for him to step down? I mean, this shouldn't be accepted from anybody at any level, okay? I think that the Weinstein situation was a lot different than something like this or what his brother was accused of. This isn't okay. People made fun of Mike Pence for saying that he never wanted to be in a room without his wife and another woman, and he wouldn't go to dinner and meetings without his wife and another woman. Don't blame him. First off, Mike Pence wasn't just going up to chicks grabbing their ass. Like, he's just playing grab ass like this is football. Chris Cuomo's an asshole. Both of them, him and his fucking brother. I don't give a shit. And kiss my ass. Hey, and I don't play that tough guy shit that he was doing when he had COVID. He's walking around New York with COVID, threatening to fight people and shit. You should have punched him in his face when he came out of his balcony for that shit too, bro. That's crazy. Now, I tell you about AMC using crypto, and now I got to give you some more bad crypto news. So for the past week, stocks are low, crypto's low. The market is tanking at the moment because the correction is happening. People are starting to wake up and finally admitting that we're in a crunch, okay? And it's not the worst, but it's definitely something that we need to worry about because financially we're going to have a lot of shit that we got to cover later. And I apologize for cussing so much today, but I'm very, very passionate about this stuff because I don't understand why we're allowing these things to continue to happen. Now, I told you crypto's very volatile, so I always say that we should be careful with crypto and that we shouldn't necessarily, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. I think we all know that, but I'm a firm believer in crypto. I love it. The idea is great. I think we need to learn how to merge old ideas and new ideas. Stop trying to reinvent shit completely and let's tie it together and make something better. Like I think NFTs in contract form for entertainment and things that we use, licensing for, I think NFTs would be 10 times better than what a regular contract or a license would be, especially for at least payout of monies for whatever you do, whatever you make, whatever you own that's IP driven, because IP is still very, very sensitive, which this whole our whole show today is basically based on IP streaming and what's going on with the internet in the regular world, because we're still learning how to work both of these worlds, and it's a pain in the ass, okay? So China has made it illegal to use crypto completely. Here we go. CNBC. China's central bank renewed its tough talk on Bitcoin Friday, calling all digital currency activities illegal and vowing to crack down on the market. In a Q&A posted on its website, the People's Bank of China said services offering trading, order matching, token issuance, and derivatives of virtual currencies are strictly prohibited. Overseas crypto exchanges providing services in mainland China are also illegal. That's according to the PBOC. Overseas virtual currency exchanges that use the internet and offer services to domestic residents is also considered illegal financial activity, the central bank said, according to CNBC's translation. That's what they got. Now, workers at foreign crypto exchanges will be investigated. That was also added. So they're going to go through and find out who's doing what and who's moving what where. China is a huge market. I compare China to California with music. Hear me out. If you're an artist in California, because it's so dense and there's so many people, you should be able to go platinum multiple times within your own city, have a successful career in California. You don't even have to leave. It's such a big ecosystem that you can live and thrive within it and be a multi-platinum artist and never even leave. And that's very impossible in many states. Like, for example, Vegas has about 2 million, 2 and change. But let's be honest, your market might be only 25% of that. So let's say 20,000, maybe in Vegas alone. I mean, we could be completely frank, might be 500 people, right? In California, you got millions of people, millions. There's a few million in LA County. So if you get a percentage of a few million, you obviously get way more. Like, my goal in life has always been just give me a little of whatever the fuck y'all got. I don't need all of it. Just give me a little bit, because there's so much of it that me taking a little here and a little there is always going to be great. So China has over 1 billion people. Them not using crypto is a big blow to crypto. Crypto's been down. The market has been down. So I don't know how long it'll be down, but these are the types of things that I say we need to keep an eye on. Bitcoin, it went down 6.5% in a day. That's not unusual. We've had these volatile changes. It's still $41,000. You really can't complain. You're still doing pretty good as long as you're not dumping in, 40, 50,000 a coin. You should be doing pretty good. You should be. Now, I'm no expert. I'm just talking shit. And then my favorite, Ethereum, is down 9%, and they're at 2,800, which for a backup investment, if you have the money, I say throw it at it. Throw it at ETH. I think ETH has something a little bit different than Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's a little out of control. That's just me. Now, China can do this. The United States, not necessarily so. The United States may try to link with digital currency, which might be one of the better ways to start saving paper and probably make money worth something again. And we have to tie money to something. Money has to be tied back to gold again, or we're going to have these financial fucking ups and downs forever. And shit just doesn't add up. Like, with China doing shit like this, people that are investing in crypto that have been able to walk away from the workforce and live off of their investments. I mean, as good as it sounds, everybody's been making all this money left, right, and third from stocks, and I really don't see what the end game is for a lot of people. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people take jobs again, and they're trying to like buckle down. But this type of stuff worries me, because what is our government going to do when they want to start tampering with, any of this, from ETH to Bitcoin to any type of exchanges that we do online? That always, it just, there's certain places they need to just sit back, and one of you hackers are going to have to fold and go work for the feds, or we're never going to move forward. Like, that's the only way we get past this shit. It really is. I know, and it's difficult to wrap your mind around that, but that's going to have to happen. So the border has finally cleared up, and hopefully no one was injured, and they were able to... I don't know what the fuck they were doing. Let me tell you, leadership is leadership. I don't care what you say. Trump's on his way. Get mad all you want. Trump is on his way. It's unfortunate that it's 4D chess. Do you know that Kamala Harris went on TV and said, I'm going to investigate what's going on in the border. I want to open an investigation on whoever's in charge of the border, and I'm going to find out why this is happening. I will get to the bottom of this. The vice president says. Well, she must be in shock, because if she sat down, she would be able to look at her desk, and there should be paperwork there that says, you're in charge of the border, dipshit. January, President Joe Biden put Kamala Harris in charge of the border. She was supposed to take care of the issues down there because she had compassion. Trump didn't have compassion, because the cages, the people on the floors, the overflow, the issues that have not been solved from neither presidents prior to our president today, they just haven't gotten any better with this president. There was at least order before. There's no order now. People are getting hurt now. This whole idea that parents are being separated from their children and it's cruel and unusual, that's a farce. When you get arrested and you have your children in the vehicle, they will separate you from your children. That is life. Welcome to America. There are better ways to get here, and until we figure out our system, it's really not a good time to come here. Somebody asked, how do you figure out what to do at the border? Very simple. Shut that bitch down until we figure out homelessness. Once we get rid of homelessness, we open the borders back and people come back. And until then, we need to do better. We have a country full of fucking losers, and we need to do better. Because if our country isn't self-sufficient, we have to depend on our government, then we're a country full of fucking losers. Our vice president doesn't even know that she's in charge of the border. And she's launching an investigation to find out what the fuck they're doing down there. She's going to investigate herself to find out that she hasn't done anything. It's embarrassing. She's embarrassing. 1,000% failure. You don't see her speak. You never see her do anything. She hasn't accomplished shit. It feels like they've been in office for 7 years and it's only been 9 months. Everybody is fatigued and blown the fuck away at how stupid these people are. Like, Joe Biden was the guy that said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Let that one fucking sink in. Ami and a Hellcat. Who's Ami? Ami is, to me, an entrepreneur of sorts. Okay, let's run down Ami's story and what's going on. Ami right now is facing 550 some odd years in prison for copyright infringement, money laundering, and tax evasion. Ami, excuse me, was a hood dude that was selling bootleg shit, right? We all know the stories. And, kids today might not even understand what bootleg is. To be honest, kids today might not even have a good grasp as to what a bootlegger looks like. Back in our day, right, which was like 5 years ago, to be honest with you, early 2000s, you could go to the swap meet and buy replica clothing and bootleg clothing for a tenth or a fraction of the price of some real name brand clothes. You could find music on the street. There would be dudes in front of bodegas with CDs of all the newest music. In New York, you would see your favorite rappers running up on the bootleggers and like bashing their tables and fucking up all their shit because they were selling their albums. Right in the street, bro. Bold as shit. Well, we have copyright laws here in America that really don't stand too far outside of America. But with that being said, those laws are held very, 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 very strict and very high in our courts. And you can't really do much when it comes to copyright. When it comes to music and we want to file a copyright infringement on somebody that's stealing our shit, it goes to court. It gets executed pretty fast. Now, to be honest, those laws are old, so they haven't adapted. And we're having a huge gap in government and in that department of our intelligence department is like 35 years behind. They don't have anybody that's up to date. They haven't done a good job of enticing young, smart people to go over there and become a part of the government and become a part of the upper echelon of leadership and intelligence. And that's what we need. So with this case, it seems like they're trying to make an example of Ami for all the wrong reasons. Ami was working a regular job, wasn't doing too well in life. But he was working on computers. The guy's good on computers. He understands coding. He understands how to do multiple things with computers and servers. And this is where his story begins. Ami started buying those Fire Sticks that you can jailbreak and add a service on there or an application that will take you to an online server, which provides streaming of live television and different television shows. Some provided pay-per-views, some had live TV. It was a server with a peer-to-peer network that would share live TV for a reasonable price. Some of these streaming services were free, some were charging. Ami was only selling the hardware, right? Once he figured that if he could get into the app game and he could sell the streams, he could make more money. That's what he did. So he proceeded to make his own app. He called it Reloaded, and he sold it as a subscription for $15 a month. But again, never sold movies. Copyright infringement definitely states that if you stream a movie or a pay-per-view, you can go to jail. Ami never did movies or pay-per-views. He only streamed live TV. There really isn't no copyright provisions to live TV. You never see, sometimes people be like, yo, it's warning if you steal this live if you broadcast this live TV anywhere else without permission of blah blah blah, it's illegal. But again, those live events that have those forewarnings, right? You don't see that with live TV. But that's what Ami was offering, basically cable TV at a price of $15 a month, and he was making somewhere of $1.5 million a month. Yo, the bootlegger made it. Now, he didn't do business well. The government's hitting him for copyright infringement. There's a couple problems in that copyright infringement. He didn't copyright anything. All he did was provide a service. The service allowed you to stream the information. You didn't buy it, you streamed it. There's technically no physical anything. It's all IP. That's why this is Stream Wars. The information that us as artists have been asking for many, many years, we still don't have. We can go all the way back to Napster, to the birth of streaming, to the birth of how do we sell music on the internet, to the end of CDs, to the end of the box stores, and to the beginning of a multi-billion-dollar industry that makes over $75 million a day, $19+ million for the top 3 record labels off of streaming a day. Over $19 million for the top 3 streaming services a day. As artists, we make pennies for our streams. We don't know what streams are worth. Nobody has told us shit. Ami is now facing 500 years for streaming. If you go to Twitch, you can stream a movie with your followers and you don't go to jail. If you go to Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg hosts thousands upon thousands, maybe even millions of stolen copyrighted information all the time. How come he isn't facing 500? And I'm not trying to be a snitch or nothing. I'm just trying to bring light to what's going on here. Ami created an app similar to a Facebook where other people shared links that provided live shows. Was it illegal? Probably. They didn't have a law for it. They're kind of just making it up now. Now, they could be reasonable and learn how he did it. He has to, if I was him, and I'm being honest, fold and go work for the feds. Teach them what you know so they can stop the bullshit, because they're harassing him for hundreds of millions of dollars. And they might have a good reason, but I just can't wrap my mind around what he's doing wrong. If somebody's streaming live music right now, right, you get kicked off of Instagram for copyright, right? How come Instagram doesn't get in trouble for that? You know, at a certain point in time, these online services were getting in trouble for what people were commenting. And then they said, hey, we don't want to be held accountable for what people are commenting. So then what is Ami even obligated to if all he did was provide a open source? Because that's all it was, right? It was a server with an open source and people added files and you would just be able to link through there. And the server that he had was one of the best, most stable servers. He actually ran a very good server. But the feds don't get that. They're so far behind. They don't understand shit. But explain to me, is it the licensing that Twitch and Amazon pays for to allow you to stream movies with your friends? Is it okay that Facebook has groups upon groups with stolen music, stolen movies, live episodes of whatever the fuck ever, and Zuckerberg and his company isn't held accountable for this? Why is this man being held accountable for what he did and then being charged with 550 years in prison? Bro, rapists don't even get that much time. Murderers don't even get that much time. Tax evasion and money laundering. Now, those charges are legit, because he bought things with money that he didn't pay taxes on, and he sold them and traded and things of that nature. That's considered laundering. You're not allowed to buy shit with illegal money. It's the law. And my grandfather taught me something that I'll never forget. You've never heard a gangster story. Every story you hear is that of a snitch or someone who failed. Real gangsters never get caught. Ami showed off his lifestyle. He not only made a ton of money really fast, he started to get into YouTube. That was one of the bigger problems. He started spending massive amounts of money on jewelry and cars and vlogging it on YouTube. Now, 2018, he was starting the YouTube thing. 2019, he was probably the fastest growing YouTuber out, and his vlog was insane. Now, Ami made, according to what stories and rumors have it, about $1 million a month for about 3 years, and then sold Reloaded for 40 some odd million, and was sitting pretty at about $100 million. The feds came in November of 2019, took all his money, took all his cars, raided all of his homes, and took him to jail. Hours after that, he was bailed out. He went live and told everybody what happened. So we knew the story. Now, we knew this day might come again, but we didn't know when or how or why. So this is where things get very interesting. COVID-19 provided a way for legislation to get passed through the stimulus package just because of pure fucking ignorance and stupidity. With the stimulus package, we got information on UFOs, and there was one little thing. Well, the UFO thing was fucking ridiculous, that they had to release the UFO information. I don't know if you knew that. That was in our stimulus package for COVID-19, just so you know. Not only did they do that, but they snuck in there this thing about streaming. It was a law about streaming, and I just didn't understand why they did that. It didn't really have too much to it, but because of this law, they're now able to do what they're doing with Ami. The issue is, because it's such a new law, and any judge will tell you this shit, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Sorry. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you from the ghetto, you've heard that shit 5 million times and you understand what I'm saying. I promise you that there's a lot worse people in this world. Ami, I don't think, was a bad person. He was providing cheap TV to the hood. Just charge him what you got to charge him. Let him pay his licensing fees, get sued by all the companies, and then let that man go and keep him on probation. But you know what? The fact that they want to lock him up and do all this shit they're doing to him, I mean, it just shows you the jealousy too. You know, I'm of the belief that the feds, the government, all these people are way over fucking paid. Completely overpaid. You don't deserve any fucking thing you do. You haven't done anything. And if you are any type of political person in a state that has homelessness, you should make $15 an hour until you fix homelessness. Figure it the fuck out. You better bring some of the brightest minds and figure it the fuck out. Instead, you're wasting resources and time to bust somebody that has hundreds of millions of dollars who's willing to pay. Like, yeah, I'm a cape for him because he was willing to pay. He said, I'll pay whatever it is, but I don't want to go to jail for 500 years. I don't think that's fair. I don't think the government has a leg to stand on either. At the time, there wasn't a law. That law is new, and if he's not participating in said crimes, and you cannot retroactively attack him, that's bullshit. You see, laws don't prevent anything, by the way. If you didn't know this, not a single law has prevented any crime. Laws are written after the crimes are committed. You cannot go after him for this shit. This wasn't a murder. This was a nonviolent crime and nobody was harmed. You want to say these multi-billion-dollar companies were affected? Miss me with that bullshit. This one's not cool. And stream wars will continue. Why is it that my 3-hour podcast gives me the same amount as my 3-minute song in a stream? Where's the value? I don't get it. Like, why is my like if I put out a song right now that's 2 minutes and I put out a song right now that's 7 minutes, I get paid the same amount. 1,500 streams equals 1 sale. Who the fuck came up with that? You know what's really scary? If you look at Spanish artists, that's the cheat code to streaming is just be Spanish. I swear to God. If you're a Spanish artist, you'll stream outrageous numbers, but you won't sell for shit. Bad Bunny has probably the biggest streams on YouTube, billions on top of billions on top of billions of streams on YouTube and hits and plays, comments, likes in the millions and millions and millions, but don't get sales for shit. Cardi B outsells them. Crazy, right? But the streams are not even matched. If Spanish artists got paid a penny for every stream they got, they'd be multi-billionaires 3, 4, 5 times over. Why isn't it worth a penny? Why isn't it worth a dime? If I'm getting 1 billion streams, and they're legit, if we can audit them, and you can tell me that out of 2 billion streams, 1.7 are legit and the other ones are maybe rewatches or just accidents, that's fine. Give me a penny for each one. That's 100 million and some change, maybe a little more than that. I don't get it. Like, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around this, and trying to be independent in this space makes it even harder to start having these conversations because there's gamers out there that put in hours on top of hours on top of hours, and I know they're not getting compensated for their shit. And I mean, gamers that you got to remember too, like, I'm new. So I'm not saying that I deserve all the money for what I'm doing. I'm saying that eventually when I get there and we have a bigger audience that really, you know, commands millions of people to listen to what we do here, you know, I want to see my just due. Like, I don't want nothing extra. I just want what I'm here for. That's it, you know. And I would like to see everybody make their money's worth. Yo, I took a Lyft the other night. It cost me $50. I gave the guy a $20 cash tip. He said, thanks, man. I appreciate that. This ride's only going to give me $6. The dude showed me his app. The shit was like $7 and change. I paid $50 from the Las Vegas Strip to my home in the Southwest area. And he got $8, $7. Why the fuck does Lyft need 40 some odd dollars? Can somebody answer me that? Where's that money at? That young man should have made all that money. He should have got all that money. I don't think Lyft should get more than $5 per ride, and everything else should go to the fucking driver. And he should have got that $20 tip on top of the fucking $30 for that ride. You crazy? That shit's crazy. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on this story with Ami because stream wars will continue until we understand them. So I thought this story was pretty interesting because I don't see it ever happening. The EU obviously lives in the medieval times, right? Because they still have a queen and shit, and these people live in like this weird dark era of bullshit that nobody lives in. They said that they want every digital device, to have the same plug. Does this shit come off? Okay. This is a certain type of USB, right? This type of USB goes into devices that are not Apple devices. So the EU says that this causes waste because Apple makes a different type of USB port, right? Here's the catch. It's none of your fucking business what Apple does and how they make their ports, because this is universal. On every single USB port, you have this thing at the other end, and this goes into a device that converts voltage from the wall into power, which charges your lithium ion battery and gives you energy. So to the morons in the EU and everybody in their government that thinks that this causes what they called it e-waste, go to hell, respectively. You are idiots. Every USB might be different on one side. Guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. Because now you're telling me HDMI cables have to change. You're telling me every single cable in my computer is now going to be one type of cable. We all know that cables do different things. They said they only want to change all the electronic devices. That's overreach of government power. They cannot do it. Everybody provides the same opposite side that goes into the wall plug. Guess what? Your law is null and void, and that shit will not stand. There's no way. You're not going to tell Apple how to do what they do. People say that the Apple charger isn't even the fastest out. It may not be, but it's Apple's. Apple invented it and made it for their device, and they're not going to take every single phone that they've made, every iPad, everything, and just adjust it because these morons don't understand how things work. Guess what? Even if we made everything the same plug, what are you going to do? Retro? Go back over every goddamn phone? You know how stupid that is? You want to talk about waste? That's wasteful. Spend your time helping people and making your country better, stronger for the future. Stop wasting time with barbaric bullshit that 95% of the people that probably have that complaint will be dead within the next 10 years. Can we be honest? It's just old people. That's why I say the government's fucking up. The government isn't recruiting smart enough young people. The government should be out there right now coming up with the greatest fucking marketing campaign of their life. That is so arrogant. Like, why would you fucking text me during the show? Okay. The EU's crazy. Ami's innocent. What else did we learn today? I'm sorry if I'm yelling. Am I yelling? AMC's going to go broke. Chris Cuomo is not a pervert. He's Italian. China said no more crypto. Kamala Harris is investigating herself for letting those guys on the horses yell at the people at the border. And the UK wants to change ports that don't need to be changed. I'm going to go play video games with my friends. My name is Kasabian. Live in the moment, don't live in the past. Be safe, stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. Wine.